feeling this here.
Yeah, son, you feel it, man. Word up, son. You gotta just do it, yo. Yo, word up, man. It's a different channel, son. Word up, on, man. Word up, watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man.
It's all good.
Word up, all good, baby, in every hood, son. Word up, yo. CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cast more beef than Scarface.
Call is now being recorded.
Network, Channel 10. It's on again.
And we're back, part 2 of episode numero 5 of the Channel 10 podcast. Make sure you check us out, channel10podcast.com. Look out for us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. All the links are at the website, so check that out. iTunes, Stitcher, email us at channel10podcast@gmail.com so we can address your questions, concerns, issues, and whatever else on the show. So yeah, when we ended, I think you mentioned we were talking about, you know, the mixtape rappers and everything like that, and you mentioned Grafh, and you wanted to talk about, I guess, getting into why he didn't necessarily make it.
Yeah. You know, I'm not, I guess if I had to say, you know, Grafh was like, he was like really one of those like really first early, blog hip hop rappers, whatever you want to call them. And you know how they always say, I guess, like the pioneers, they kind of, you know, they had to sacrifice themselves in order for other people to become successful.
Yeah.
And Grafh, he had like quite a bit of success. I mean, you know, because, you know, around the same time when blogs were becoming, you know, what they are today, you still had the Smack DVDs, the Come Up DVDs, and so on and so forth. And every 5 minutes you would see, like, you know, the Red Cafes, the Shay Davises, and the Graphs and Cashmere's. Every 5 minutes on these Smack and Come Up DVDs. And, you know, Grafh, he was torn. He had, you know, the Oracle and other things coming out. And it seemed like he was going to take over, and he just didn't. And the thing that makes me kind of interested about Grafh and why he didn't make it, although I don't really know, is because of the fact that he's kind of had, you know, he had that kind of star aura about him, that personality, you know?
Yeah, he did. It's interesting because, like, not only that, but he had, like, the lyrical capabilities. I mean, some of the things that he was saying and doing on these tracks was just incredible. And, you know, he was able to make the transition from, you know, just the straight street mixtapes to the blogs and, you know, still keep it up and get a buzz. And I think he might have been the first independent artist to get his video in rotation on either MTV or MTV2, something like that, with the whole MySpace jump-off thing. So yeah, he was in there early, like, on the whole internet wave. But I do remember some people saying that, like, basically kind of saying the opposite of what you were saying. About him not having those things, and I guess it had to do with people feeling like his flow and his lyrics were too complicated or too off kilter or like too over people's heads, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just wasn't simple and direct and straight to the point. And I remember people calling him the Black Eminem at one point, and it's kind of like a gift and a curse because, you know, if Eminem was black, what would he be, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know, maybe he was I guess a bit too ahead of his time, because now, you know, we don't really have this issue. I mean, now we want that Black Eminem at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I still think he has a chance to still come out and do his thing. I mean, he's been dropping, like, the Painkillers mixtape series and things like that. But I remember, you know, his debut album, Autograph, was so anticipated, and he dropped it for free, and, you know, that kind of created a resurgence in his buzz. And I remember Shia LaBeouf shouted him out on something. Might have been like one of those late night talk shows or something like that. He said Grafh is like one of his favorite rappers. And he did have a deal with Koch. Remember he came out with that single with Jim Jones and all that?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Sometimes things don't work out for certain people when, you know, it might have just been the team that he had around him. I know since then he's left Black Hand, and then there was that whole thing where, you know, there were thoughts of maybe 50 Cent had something to do with him being blocked from a lot of things because, you know, Chaz, who ran Black Hand, was 50 Cent's first manager back when 50 was with Columbia, and you know there ended up being some bad blood between them. So him, you know, having Grafh on his label, you know, he felt like maybe possibly 50 Cent had something to do with that. So, because I remember like maybe like a year or two ago, Grafh said online that he went up to the G-Unit office to, you know, go have a meeting with 50 Cent and let him know that, you know, you don't have no problem with him, and if you got anything to do with this, just please let up. But you know, I think 50 wasn't there when he came up there. But that's one of them dudes who, you know, I hope, and I don't doubt that he'll find his, you know, his little niche again, and, you know, get his buzz popping again, because, you know, he's still making some good music.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've had the opportunity to meet him, you know, on numerous occasions. He's a real good dude, real funny and everything like that, which is funny because, you know, when I was first listening to his music in high school, I guess that aspect of his personality didn't necessarily come out in it at first, so, you know, I kind of always thought he was this crazy dude. But then when I met him, you know, he seemed like a real cool, you know, funny, cracking jokes kind of guy. And then I noticed that side of his personality started to come out in his music more, which I thought was dope.
Yeah.
But I don't know, sometimes, you know, when you're ahead of your time like that, I remember, because he was real big in D.C. for a while, and there was a point where, you know, people kind of associated him with being a D.C. rapper, because he was down there so heavy. But, yeah, hopefully he gets that thing popping like how it was. Another person like Grafh is Saigon. And it's like, I guess we had the conversation before how, you know, a lot of times, you know, we might mention somebody to like a chick, and the chick will be like, oh, from Love and Hip Hop?
Yeah.
And we just be like, what? No. And it's like Saigon is one of those people, it's like, you know, his archives and his catalog of music is just tremendous, at least to me. You know, from Warning Shots all the way up. And then, you know, he had everything going for him. He had a song produced by Just Blaze with the Swiss Beats hook and Jay-Z on the remix. He had, you know, a recurring role in Entourage. He had that first single, Pain in My Life, with Trey Songz. I think Game was on the remix. Like, but, with all of that, he had a, huge mixtape buzz and all of that. Jay-Z even shouted him out and said that, he's the next big thing to watch out for. Yeah. And with all of that, it's like, he ended up leaving the label, putting out his album independently, and it didn't make the big splash that everyone had hoped for. But, he's still able to have a viable career doing this music, which, is good. And even though I wasn't really too fond of his last album from what I heard of it, I don't know, it's like all these stories of these people who you used to listen to and then wonder where they end up now. Like, you got your Graphs, your Saigons, your Pat Pooses, and all these type of people. Yeah,
and you come like thinking about it now. like the great majority of the people that, you know, we would see when these come up DVDs and Smack DVDs, a lot of them, they just aren't around anymore.
You remember Shells?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Shells was nice. You don't hear anything from him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only person like Shay Davis, I mean, I know Shay Davis, he still comes out with stuff every now and again. But I like Shells, and I think even Cashmere, like I know Cashmere like just dropped off the face of the earth.
Didn't he end up with Dipset or D-Block or somebody at some point?
I think it was D-Block in some type of weird way.
Yeah. Like, if that's the same Cashmere, I remember him being on, like, Posse Cuts with a whole bunch of the new Rough Riders and maybe on the end of some DMX album or, like, on Rough Riders Volume 87.
That's the thing, but, you know, like those Smack DVDs, you know, sometimes he will have, like, some, you know, be on, you know, one of those leading covers and stuff like that. Or even, like, on the main menu of the DVD.
I think it's weird because, you know, back then there weren't that many avenues you could take. You know, it was like you went from mixtape to deal, you know, to putting out everything in the traditional type of way to where now, I guess in the internet age, it's like you kind of have like the freshman cover, and it's like out of everybody on the freshman cover, all these people, some of them kind of fall off the face of the earth, but then they come back in these weird different ways, and their careers take these different trajectories that nobody has ever seen before. So like, you think of somebody like, let's say, a Wale, who, you know, came out real strong, first album flopped, disappeared for a while, came back with a dope mixtape, signed with a big label, and has been kind of killing it ever since. And then you have Kid Cudi, who, you know, got huge, got this crazy cult following, and then puts out, like, little weird side projects that kind of get a huge buzz, and, you know, until people await his next album, and all they're going to do is talk about how it wasn't as good as the first one.
I mean, yeah, and then even like with the first one didn't even get, you know, like good, good reviews from critics.
Yeah. And then, I'm trying to think of somebody else. Then you had your Corey Guns, who's never put out a project but had his own reality show.
Yeah, that was kind of wild to me.
And then you have Blue, who does his Blue thing.
Yeah, Blue, I mean, Blue is
how, you know, it ends up in various conversations.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like for the mixtape rapper of the early 2000s, or the DVD rapper of the early 2000s, you know, you just keep on putting out mixtapes and popping up on DVDs until, you know, there's nothing else more you can do. Unless you had like a solid internet team behind you, and, you know, not too many people really popped off from that era, or, you know, were able to do something to where they'll be heard from again. Like, I think other than 50 Cent and, you know, his affiliates, G-Unit and all that, and, well, I guess you had Fabulous, you had 50 Cent, and you had Joe Budden.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Budden even fell off the map for a good minute.
Yeah, didn't he get back on the drugs or something like that?
I don't know if he got back on the drugs. I remember he signed to Def Jam, and his album came out, and his album was, you know, commercial failure or whatever, so he was basically kind of stuck in his contract. I remember they were putting out singles and stuff for his second album, but, you know, like, he even admitted they were kind of corny and they weren't really him, and they weren't songs that he wanted to do. So, I think after a while, he put out the first Mood Music mixtape, and like, every time his buzz started building, it made it harder for him to get out of his deal. So then he just stop putting out music and doing anything to promote his career until, you know, they finally dropped him. And I guess he dropped the iconic mixtape Move Music 2, and that was like the resurgence of him.
I know now he just sells hundreds of thousands of copies independently.
Yeah, selling music independently, popping off his slaughterhouse. He has his podcast now, which I haven't listened to yet. And just living a wild life. I know he has those pool parties in the summer at his house. And I know the NYPD is looking for him. And every once in a while they tweet out his picture.
Why are they looking for him?
Some stolen cell phone. I thought he got that cleared up, but something about a stolen cell phone and some girl. I guess one of the newer models that he bangs.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, he's had quite an interesting career. And then I think he was on Love and Hip Hop and all that. He's another one of them Love and Hip Hop rappers where, you know, you say Joe Budden to somebody, oh, from Love and Hip Hop? It's like, nah, 10 minutes. Like, the first Joe Budden album had some gems on there. Then you had Moon Music 2 and 3, even 4. You know, you had the Padded Room joint. Like, the catalog is deep. Slaughterhouse. Like, but I guess it's just the world we live in.
I mean, well, I know Def Jam, they just had some fails. It's funny how, like, around the period of Joe Budden, Def Jam, they had like the epic fails of, you know, Joe Budden's album to a certain extent and Comp, who they were kind of like put a lot of stock behind. And then, you know, you can even say, you know, Ghostface album, because I'm assuming that was supposed to be a platinum album if they put Missy Elliott behind one of the singles. Yeah. But then at the same time they had Def Jam Vendetta that came out around the same time.
Yeah, they were making a lot of money off Def Jam Vendetta. And actually, I think Joe Budden was in there. Comp was in the second one. That was a dope concept, I guess, for a game. But I'm trying to think, like, Def Jam also, they dropped that Redman album. I don't even know if you remember it. I can't think of the name of it. Was it Red's Gone Wild?
Red Gone Wild.
Yeah. That was a pretty dope album, but nobody paid attention to it.
Because they didn't give it any type of commercial push.
Yeah. Was that the whole Jay-Z era?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so that's right, because that's when you had Jeezy and Rick Ross and Rihanna and Kanye. I guess those were like the biggest things out of Def Jam at that point.
The only things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Neo.
No, that's right. And he had that random. The first song he even had Petey Crack on it.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess Petey Crack will probably eat off that forever.
Hopefully.
But, they still make Def Jam Vendetta video games? I know they made a couple of them.
No, I don't think they do anymore.
That game was kind of weird because, like, it's like only in hip-hop where you have a video game of real-life black people just doing violent things to each other.
What about Wu-Tang meet Shaolin? What was that shit called? Oh,
man, Wu-Tang Shaolin style?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was another bloody video game. That was interesting, too, because it's like you have your whole crew as characters and they fighting each other. But, yeah, that game was...
I never thought about it that way.
Like, literally, like beating each other bloody worse than Mortal Kombat. So... And, you know, that game was dope. It was, I think they took that game Thrill Kill that was too violent to ever come out, that everybody was waiting for, and then they took that and they just put Wu-Tang members on it and put it out like that. And that was touted as the first 4-player fighting game. and I had that 4-player adapter.
Yeah.
It was some good times.
Hell yeah. Do you remember the video game Loaded?
Oh man, I vaguely remember Loaded. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the game. Like, I'm thinking about the intro screen right now.
Yeah, that was a pretty violent. That was a violent ass game.
Yeah, there was some violent ass games out there.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 10 is about to drop, I think.
That's the thing, like, I'm not really too up to date on the games, like the video games that come out nowadays, but I don't know, like, I mean, some of the games that, you know, that we played back in the day, they seem a bit more bloodier than some of the games that come out now.
Yeah. I don't know, it's I think the games now are kind of like more focused on being realistic, like with these modern warfare type joints. So I guess, you know, and I think that whole trend started with, what was that one game, Medal of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, besides like the Mortal Kombat and stuff, you don't really see a whole lot of gratuitous violence in video games, from my understanding right now. I mean, it might be there. I just don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, oh, you said Medal of Honor, or you mean Metal Gear Solid?
No, Medal of Honor. It kind of started the whole realism in games, because remember they were trying to be like really accurate to all of the stuff that was happening in World War II, down to the guns and the scenery and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was thinking about Metal Gear Solid and how you know how like you could have like your character Snake smoke cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
But while like it's helping him out, it's still like bringing his health down, whatever like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty realistic.
Yeah, that was pretty realistic. Like. It served a function in the game because you had to do that sometimes to see the lasers, the laser trip wires.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of Metal Gear, I hear the last one is coming out soon. Like, after they're not making any more Metal Gear Solids, they still might make other Metal Gear games, but it won't be like a Metal Gear Solid game, whatever that's supposed to mean.
No, I mean, has Snake been like the main character in all of them so far?
I believe so. Even going back to regular Nintendo.
Yeah, I forget that it even has like the origins from on Nintendo.
Yeah, I haven't even. I've been meaning to like look for it and try to find it or something. But it's interesting, like the way certain games take shape. Like remember when I used to have the old Grand Theft Autos?
Oh, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2, and then the little add-on CD that they had. And it's like, for most people, Grand Theft Auto starts at 3.
Yeah. Man, that has revolutionized the way you kill people in the game, man. It was like, it just gave you so much freedom within the game.
I mean, it was a huge world to explore, and you just did whatever you wanted to do. Like, and then if you wanted to play the story, you could do that, and that was entertaining enough. And you know, you could get lost for hours just sitting on that game and doing nothing at all.
That's the thing. Like, I think like Grand Theft Auto 3 is like one of those games like that changed my life. Just like the freedom that it gave you, like that form of escape. And you're just in this world. You can fuck prostitutes and and have these different guns, big bazookas, and blow up, you know, cop cars. You can start shit with people.
Yeah, Yeah, and then once you did too much, the police would be after you.
Yeah. So at the same time, I taught you a lesson.
Yeah. and they try to say that it's so detrimental to the youth and all that. It's showing you what's going to happen to you if you engage in these type of activities.
Yeah, man. It's kind of like, you know, the Dark Carnival mythology that, you know, the insane Clown Posse came up with, and how pretty much all their albums are based around this one character within their mythology, and how this one character represents a particular, like, I guess, sin, for lack of a better term. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they use that term, but, you know, they're pretty much showing you what can happen to you if you keep doing the same thing that's wrong.
That's kind of deep.
Yeah.
The only thing that, when I think about them, is that one song that they came out with recently when people were making fun of the video.
Oh, yeah, when I was talking about the earth and shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was thinking about that, too, because usually if you go like to YouTube and put like that in, like put Insane Clown Posse, that's like the first thing that comes up. And I was thinking about, I have yet to rewatch it, but just knowing how they are and, you know, what they do or whatever like that, I can only help but think that that video and that song was kind of like a parody, you know, kind of making fun of shit.
I don't know what they were doing, like, I don't know, because, like, I remember seeing some type of interview or some type of response, and they were like, defending it, like, they were really serious about that, so, I don't know. But, I always think about, Tech Nine, and how, on Absolute Power, which we were talking about earlier, he references the killer clowns, and he refers to his people as killer clowns. And, you know, our terminology, you know, a clown is one of the worst things you can be.
Yeah. So
that always tripped me out until I figured out that there was a whole mythology about, you know, the clowns and clowning in, I think, Kansas City, where he's from. So it's interesting that, like, I guess clown mythology in hip-hop is kind of a thing. Because Insane Clown Posse has it, too.
I mean, yeah, them, and, you know, I guess, you know, I always think of, like, Twisted.
Oh, yeah, they were like an offshoot of them, weren't they?
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure if they, like, follow the same mythology or if they do something totally different. So, I don't know. All this shit kind of creeps me out.
I heard that the top clown school is more expensive than Harvard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
Where's that located?
Probably in New York.
But,
you know, people take that clowning seriously.
Yeah, I see.
Getting, like, certificates and degrees in it and stuff.
I don't know, it kind of flipped me out when, like, you told me about clown schools. I just never knew that. I never thought of them existing.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to be a clown. I mean, when you think about it, clowning is a performance art, so.
Well, yeah, that is true. I need to learn more into the history of clowns.
I did it once, but then I forgot everything that I found out. But I do remember it being like a really interesting history. And another interesting thing is like mimes, all that type of shit. Like,
oh yeah. Now there's like with mimes, it's like a whole different type of history and philosophy based around them, right?
I'm not entirely sure. I think, of course, it goes back to slavery and probably before that. But only thing I know is, you know, like, my girlfriend, she goes off on the miming ministry in the church. And why
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, and she goes off about that. And, you know, it's like, you know, you're here to get the word of God. And, you know, why do you need mimes to do that? And then, like, she goes into the history of it and, you know, finds out that it's, you know, it's like all of this, like, kind of demonic stuff behind it. And where it started, I can't think of the specifics right now, but apparently church mimes are a thing. And they do, like, these miming performances to gospel music, and sometimes, like, the gospel choirs will have mimes, like, doing these weird interpretive dances, I guess, to the message. And miming is alive and well in the black church community.
See, you would never think that, though. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah. But it's like they don't really do, like, miming how you would think of miming. Like, it's more like interpretive dance dressed up like mimes. Like,
that's creepier.
Yeah. I mean, because they're not, like, pulling a rope or anything like that. You know, they're just kind of just doing some weird shit.
Yeah. It's bad enough, you know, have these motherfuckers speaking tongues and shit.
I mean, you know, miming for Jesus. Jesus loves all the mimes, because that was in the Bible.
Yeah.
I guess what else keeps the ghetto youth them off of the streets?
Well, I guess as long as it does that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm thinking we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I've been up for like a long time, and I know you have too.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll revisit this segment, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. Maybe we should do some more reading on moms and try to figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. For now, we're out. Channel10podcast.com. Hit us up. Peace. Please
do. We're serious about receiving emails about racial situations that you've been into, that you've been a part of, whether you're white, black, or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Peace.
Feeling this here. Yeah, son, you feel it, man. Word up, son. You gotta just do it, yo. Yeah, man. Yo, word up, man. It's different channels, son. Word up, on, man. Word up, watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man. It's all good. Word up, all good, baby, in every hood, son. Word up, your CNN Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cats more beef than Scarface. CNN Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cats more